We're gonna have hand sanitizer, liquid chalk by the ton. Is ton the right? I mean. My time basically called me and was like, I looked at this warehouse a while ago and it was way too expensive, but I've managed to negotiate a special price and like, maybe we can afford this place. You've got to come check it out. It's amazing. It's super central. And I was like, all right, great. And came down and looked at it, and it is massive and it's right near the city. It's huge, awesome. But I walked in and I was like, this warehouse is old. It's like an old timber warehouse. Skylights were all cracked and stained, and they had those old, you know, like bay lights. You switch them on and they take like 5 minutes to come on, and then they have that wah kind of like old hum, and you're like, oh, there's a few dead cockroaches lying around. You're like, oh, I don't know, it's like, it doesn't have that nice modern feel. And my time was like, no, it'll be fine, and convinced me this is the way to go. The location's just too perfect. You've got amazing cafes and restaurants nearby, and directly in between UNSW and University of Sydney, you've got like high-rise accommodation, heaps of people around, lots of foot traffic, great opportunity to just be seen by people who aren't necessarily already rock climbers, which is huge. You can probably see on the floor here, we've got very vaguely polished concrete where there won't be mats, and then unpolished concrete where we didn't want to bother polishing the concrete where the mats will go. Some die-hard climbers say that the kilter board holds are too juggy. But then I see Jimmy Webb climbing on it and I'm like, it's good enough for Jimmy, it's good enough for Jack, you know? Amazing training tool. That's what I was gonna say. Oh, I remember, look at me go with my brain. I want less complicated angles. You know that classic flat hold tub? You know, like the biggest flat hold comes out like this deep? Maybe you mantle onto this, you face out, and then maybe you can jump to a flat hold tsunami, swing underneath, redirect up, over the lip. I don't know. There was a trend there where all the walls had like a lot of features, and that's really interesting and it makes for fun climbing, but we keep our gyms for like 10 plus years, and if you're doing the same wall angles and the same features, if they're really distinct, you end up like falling into this trap of you do the same movements over and over and over again. And then it was just about maximizing the space and having it like getting in enough climbing wall, making sure that it had a nice vibe and atmosphere, make sure that there was some element of discovery, like when you walk in, you don't see everything right away, but that, you know, it feels open and vibrant and fun and somewhere you can go and socialize and stand in a group. Like one thing we did really well in Parramatta is when you're in the gym, it's a real community feel because everyone's kind of like standing in the middle, and you can get these pockets of like people hanging out in the crew. So I kind of wanted to try and encapsulate that as much as possible. 90A has been amazingly successful with social climbers, people going there just because it has a great vibe. It's light and it's bright and they serve good coffee, and now they do pizza, and like people hang out and somebody's slacklining in the middle, and it just feels like almost like you're at the Pines or like you're at a campsite and everyone's just hanging, you know, everyone's just chilling and have a good time on a rest day. Like if you're not climbing, you can be there and have a good time. Where there are some gyms you go and if you're not climbing, like you do not want to be there. So we want the opposite of that. We want people to come here and climb and have a good time, and then when they're not on the wall, it's a nice place to be. You want to spend time there, it's fun.
In the building, 9 degrees Waterloo.
Behind the scenes.
Where am I throwing behind the scenes?
Tristan's usually on the other side of the camera. He hasn't quite worked this bit out.
I don't know. So we're going to go behind the scenes with Jack.
At the new 9 Degrees gym in Waterloo.
Alright, cool.
Or something like that.
Something like that.
You are sweat.
Okay, in this particular video, we're going to be following around Jack behind the scenes at the new... I can't do it,
it's
Jack.
hard.
It's so hard. In Waterloo.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. In this episode, we're going to be following around Jack behind the scenes in the new 9 Degrees gym in Waterloo. Exciting stuff.
You're not selling me on the excitement. Should we do that like another 10 times?
Let's do it, yep.
Hey guys, welcome to the channel. I'm Jack, this is Tristan, and we're here because we're excited. Coronavirus restrictions in New South Wales are finally easing up. All the gyms in Sydney are opening, and we have 2 brand new ones opening up very soon.
In this video, we're going to go behind the scenes with Jack at the new 9 Degrees gym in Waterloo. So check it out.